Good evening and welcome to GUTV's Social Justice Special on Gonzaga University's Specialized Recreation, or GUSR. I'm Olivia Roberts.
And I'm Franny Boyle. We are so excited for tonight's show. Over the past couple of weeks, we've discovered how very special GUSR is, and we cannot wait to share what we've learned. We've named our show tonight Celebrate Abilities, as to reflect the GUSR mission. GUSR is dedicated to celebrating abilities by building authentic relationships through performance and competition while believing that everyone has infinite worth.
Tonight would not be possible without you. As we began our search for the topic of our Social Justice Special, we reached out to you on Facebook, asking for suggestions on who we could feature, and this group especially stuck out. GUSR is supported by a passionate group of students who believe their gifts ignite the Gonzaga mission in a unique and impactful way. GUSR strives to build a community that embodies inclusion, friendship, and respect for individuals of all abilities.
What's especially exciting about our show tonight is that we actually have a live viewing party with some of the volunteers and participants of GUSR. Our very own Rachel Carlson from the GUTV's latest show is reporting live from the Hemmingson. Let's see how they're doing in there.
Hello, we are here in Hemmingson with a bunch of the participants and coordinators from GUSR. We are in here to watch this very special show to celebrate abilities. We are here with pizza and friends and family and bingo. So today we've passed out these bingo sheets where the participants can play along and watch this episode and participate in it. So later on we're going to be announcing the winner, and you guys are going to be coming back and checking in with all of our viewers. Back to you guys.
GUSR is supported by a passionate. Thank you so much, Rachel. That looks like a ton of fun. Well, we'll show you in the ins and outs of GUSR, how they do it, who's involved, and why it all matters. Don't go too far. You're watching Celebrate Abilities on GUTV.
The experience that you have abroad is going to be as meaningful, I believe, as the effort that you put into it. I hope that what Study Abroad and what the Center for Global Engagement in particular does is that it opens up the whole campus to both differences and both that engagement, that willingness to change, and by doing that lift you up in a way that expands your mind and helps you engage the world in a different way. Go abroad.
Welcome back to Celebrate Abilities on GUTV. We're actually going to pass back to the live viewing party and see how they're doing over there. Rachel, how's it going over there?
We are back here in Hemmingson with our live viewing party, and I'm here with one of the coordinators of GUSR, Kelly, and we're here to talk about what it means to use people's first language. So do you want to give our audience a little bit of information about what that means?
Yeah, people first language is something we use at GUSR that promotes intentionality with our language, especially when referring to other people with disabilities. So it always makes sure to put the person first, as it suggests, and then the disability second.
So how do you utilize that in your day-to-day life in GUSR?
Right, in GUSR we're really intentional about not using the R word, and also when we're talking about our friends to always refer to our friends first, and then their attributes.
Well, that's great. I think it's really important in today's day and age to be aware about using language that does put people first. So I'm really glad I got to talk to you. Thank you so much for being here. Up next, we have more to celebrate abilities, so make sure to stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Rachel. That looks like a ton of fun, and we really appreciate learning more about how we can use language in our daily lives to continue celebrating these abilities that we all appreciate. Well, when we come back, we'll introduce you to one of GUSR's most valuable players, whose dedication to fulfilling its mission is something we can all take inspiration from.
And after, we'll give you a closer look at the life of a GUSR participant. You're watching Celebrate Abilities on GUTV.
What is faith? Where is God? If you have these questions, explore them in a CLC.
My name is Bryce Rickers and I'm a CLC group leader. CLC stands for Christian Life Community. People can get out of CLC a sense of comfort, a sense of safety. To get involved with CLC, students can go right to the University Ministry Office. All groups are willing and ready to accept any new participants.
Welcome back to our Celebrate Abilities show on GUTV. I'm Franny Boyle.
And I'm Olivia Roberts. We got a behind-the-scenes look at what it means to be a leader in GUSR, a job Karina Kaiser celebrates and embraces with her whole heart, ensuring GUSR's events are meaningful for all. And we are going to show you that clip and get right on to it.
GUSR is just a one-of-a-kind program. I think in the community there's a lot of opportunities for individuals with disabilities to go to job training or prepare them for kind of like that post-high school entering into the community. But there's not a lot of recreational programming, which is what GUSR intentionally focuses on. So we just hang out, we practice the play, we play sports, we don't mentor, we are just friends, and I think that's really special. One thing we've really focused on this year is integration. So it's not the participants and the volunteers, we're just one big community. So I think in those ways GUSR is just trying to be different and creating a safe space for volunteers and for participants and for everyone. There's a lot going on with GUSR. It's a really big program, so it takes a lot of manpower to make it function. It's pretty much my one thing at Gonzaga that I'm really involved in. I'd say maybe 10 to 15 hours a week. Every week is spent with GUSR, but it doesn't really feel like a job or like an extracurricular because I'm just spending time with my friends. Between the coordinators, the participants, and the volunteers, we're all just a big community.
I personally love what Karina was saying about how it's not a job. She doesn't think about the hours that she's putting in. She's just literally hanging out with her friends. Like, she just thinks of it as free time.
Yeah, I think that speaks so highly of, all of these volunteers' passion for what they're doing, and I think that being able to establish these extremely strong bonds with these participants, like she said, they're her friends. She gets to hang out with her friends. She doesn't have to, that 10 to 15 hours isn't work for her.
Right, and that's what GUSR is all about. It's not a mentorship, it's friendship.
Totally.
And that's what they're doing. They're building friendships.
They're not there to, guide in any way, to change any way, but they're there to hang out, and I think that is so incredible. And I think that kind of takes the division out of participant and volunteer, where they're all just a community. Like she said, they're just building a safe place for all of them to come. And I think that you actually got to sit down with one of the amazing participants.
Yes, I did. So I got the opportunity to sit down with Daya, who is one of GUSR's incredible participants. She's a familiar face around campus, and her story is one that you won't forget. She can take a simple interaction and turn it into a real friendship. And I can't wait to share with you guys what I've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. Daya offers so much light, not only to GUSR, but the entire Gonzaga community. Students may recognize her from waving goodbye and wishing them a good day as they leave the COG, or just bringing a smile to all the faces around her.
Have a good day. Thank you.
With so much positive energy to spread, it's no wonder people want to reciprocate.
It's fun, working with a lot of people, and nice to me, and kind and sweet.
Daya is a diligent and hard worker, but completing her daily tasks is not the only thing that she adds to the COG community.
I love that every morning, no matter how tired or angry I am at the world, I get to come in here and I get to see her smiling face. It's always a good way to brighten my day. She's always there with a hug, and she's just a happy person. She's a little ball of love.
One of the things I like working about with her is just that she cares about the students so much, and you can see that every day. I'll be up at the front at the cashier, and Daya will be cleaning tables, and students will walk in, and Daya will yell across the room and say hi to people, and you can tell as a student it's really nice to kind of have that friendly face when you come in and eat.
Anywhere Daya goes, she's guaranteed to make new friends.
Well, I'm making a lot of friends. I don't know which one. So.
It's hard to narrow down.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of friends. So.
The relationships that she builds truly mean something to her. And anyone she befriends, she takes the time to remember details about their lives. Today you said hi to Erica.
Yeah, she got senior this year, graduating this year.
Yeah. So whether she's jamming out and having a good time at work, or doing the daily announcements at GUSR,
And I hope you guys have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Daya has a big heart for a community that loves her so dearly. So, out of the many things that Daya has taught me this week, my biggest takeaway was the importance of meaningful relationships. She has this journal that she keeps with her, and it's full of notes from various Gonzaga students over the years. She was kind enough to let us borrow it for our show tonight, and this journal just proves how much she values these connections she's made here, and at the same time, how much she is appreciated in the Gonzaga community. She even let me sign it at the end of our interview, and she has really just been such a privilege, and I can proudly say that I have a new friend.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up, we have an exclusive look at one of GUSR's volunteers. She'll show us just how she utilizes her gifts to this community. You're watching Celebrate Abilities on GUTV.
So, as a college student, I can't really have a pet of my own. But I want to do something to help out these, really neglected animals. I mean, we can't help all of these animals, but every little effort goes a long way. Because, quite honestly, every animal deserves at least one happy day.
Good morning, beautiful.
Hey, I like your smile. Great job. Keep up the good work.
Hey, your shirt looks really good on you.
And this here is the kindest girl on Gonzaga's campus.
You're the best. I love GU.
Welcome back to Celebrate Abilities here on GUTV. Up next, a spotlight on a very special volunteer.
Kelsey will remind you just how important a friend can be and how a passion can become something much bigger.
You eat 100 cinnamon rolls? Oh, just 2. Okay, good. I was gonna say.
Cinnamon rolls, superheroes, and favorite holidays. Conversations like this one may seem insignificant to you and me, but to Kelsey and Spencer, this is invaluable time spent with a friend.
I think the biggest misconception about GUSR is that it's a mentor program or that we're helping them, and we're really not. You know, I'm not their mentor. I'm not above them in any way.
Junior Kelsey Klarich became interested in working with this community in high school. As a volunteer for Special Olympics, Kelsey grew in her appreciation of the inclusivity and openness that the community offered. Now at Gonzaga, Kelsey has been able to strengthen that connection after being introduced to GUSR.
And I remember being in Hemmingson Center as a freshman, and some of the participants were doing like a dance or a performance or something, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like I have to be a part of that. Like I need to go see what that is.
Each meeting is filled with plenty of hugs, dance moves, and lots of laughter. But with this joy comes vulnerability, an aspect of GUSR Kelsey believes is necessary for growth.
You know, I think everyone has this stigma about GUSR that I'm doing such an amazing thing and I'm helping these people and I'm some, you know, superhero for doing this, and I'm not. Like, I'm doing it for me just as much for them. You know, they give me just as much as if I give them anything, you know. Like, these are my friends.
Finding a passion is one thing. Taking that passion and turning it into something even bigger, now that's something special. Kelsey is a perfect example of how a little compassion can turn into a lifetime of spreading love to a community that has a lot of it to give. Through a career in occupational therapy, Kelsey hopes not to give a voice to those she works with, but to be a light that helps them find it.
You know, I'm not trying to change anything about them or fix them.
As Kelsey uses her gifts for good, she reminds us that sometimes all it takes is a friend to believe in our immeasurable worth. And something as seemingly insignificant as that can make all the difference.
You know, you don't need experience to talk to someone with a disability. We all have our little, you know, our little quirks that, you know, we might need help with, and, you know, that's okay.
Okay, I knew Kelsey was the coolest person ever, but after working on that package with her, she actually is the coolest human ever in the entire world.
She just has such a kind heart, and you
really
can tell,
does.
like, just talking to anyone, like, she's always so genuinely caring about how you're doing.
Yeah, and Kelsey is actually one of our great friends,
She
so
is.
shout out Kelsey if you're watching. I hope you are. Yeah, so she is so, her passion for GUSR and her passion for this community is so evident in everything she does. One of the interesting things that she mentioned during our time in that interview was that one of the main struggles, not struggles, but challenges that, you know, as a volunteer you need to, try to overcome in some way is the communication barrier, because she mentioned that some participants are harder to understand than others, and she just stressed the importance of asking, to repeat certain questions and things. So she kind of told the story of her trying to she went to a basketball game, and the woman trying to serve them a soda was, talking to Kelsey, asking her questions, but Kelsey wanted to make sure that, the lady was speaking to her partner, her friend.
Yeah.
So I think that was incredible.
Even when I was walking around shadowing GUSR and getting just shots with them, I can see, like, she does that. She's like, she genuinely wants to make conversations with them and have meaningful conversations with them, rather than just, you can tell that she's there for them just as much as they are there for her, like she said in the video.
Totally. Exactly, I completely agree. Well, let's go back to our live viewing party now, where Rachel is hosting a group of excited participants and volunteers alike. Rachel?
I've seen a lot of great people highlighted today, and I'd like to highlight one more. Here we have Spencer, and he was the first one to win bingo here. So let's get a round of applause for Spencer. Congratulations, Spencer. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And he picked one of our Ask Professor Dan shows as his prize. Good job, Spencer.
Thank you.
Well, he wasn't the only one who won, though. Raise your hand if you also got a bingo today. Yeah. Well, we had a lot of fun here in the live viewing party, enjoying this really special episode. Up next, after the break, interview with our very own GUTV, Annie Penwell and Ian Lowe, to talk more about celebrating abilities. We'll be right back here on GUTV.
Chances are you've walked right on past it, but the Next Gen Tech Bar is the new spot for your tech needs. Their new support center is by students for students. Chances are you've walked right on past it, but the Next Gen Tech Bar is the new spot for your tech needs. Their new support center is by students for students. Don't be intimidated by their white lab coats, because they are more than happy to help. Whether you need a password reset, software update, or a new Ethernet cable for your computer, the NGTV staff has got you covered. So come on by and get the help you need today.
Thanks for joining us for our final segment tonight on GUTV's Social Justice Special, Celebrate Abilities. Throughout our show, you've been introduced to just a few of the shining faces of GUSR. And tonight, we want to offer another perspective, one that celebrates abilities 24/7, 365 days a year. I have the privilege of sitting down with my classmates and my guests and my friends, Ian and Annie. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know, traveling from production control all the way out to the set was a long journey. Yep. So thank you so much for sitting down. Now, you guys offer so much insight into what this community really means to you. And I know you have kind of a different perspective. Annie, can you kind of explain to us where you're coming from?
Yeah, my sister Grace is 19 and she has epilepsy. She's one of the 1 in 26 people who will develop epilepsy in their lifetime. And she's cognitively about 4, even though she's 19, but she's just a little bundle of love. And it's a really defining aspect of our family. But we don't let that stop us. It just kind of roll with the punches and just adapt and modify, which I think GUSR, from what some of the stuff we've heard, is honestly all about. She loves skiing, she loves biking and swimming, and it just maybe takes a little bit longer, but we've been parasailing together, so she's a tough cookie.
She's a superstar, it sounds like. There you go. And what about you, Ian?
So I have a little brother named Brandon who is in the 8th grade right now. And he's cognitively maybe like 5 or 6, but he's just an awesome little kid. He's like full of spunk, and he likes to jump around, and doesn't like to be picked up very much, but he's the perfect size for it, which is problematic. And he likes movies and being outside, and he's obsessed with swinging, which is horrible because he'll like, if he could go over the top, he definitely would. So that's problematic.
That might be a little dangerous. Hearing all these amazing stories of volunteers and participants at GUSR, what really resonates with you as, a sibling, or as, just someone who has been, involved in this community in some way? What has a volunteer said, or a participant that has really stuck out to you, Annie?
What they said about it, just being friends, it's so true. Like all the stuff that Grace does, it's a lot of mentorship stuff, and it's a lot of preparation for after potentially some independent living, but it's just so refreshing to see how people get so much out of it, that even if they're not a direct participant, the volunteers, you can't not be around a group like that and not just smile. in all of the promos that we made and all of the other footage, it was just all smiles. People just seemed so relaxed and happy and carefree, and just a break from the craziness that is.
Exactly. This is such a happy show, and I think, on GUTV, this is so important to highlight, these abilities, not disabilities in any way. What are some of Brandon's, best skills? What is he
Let's see. He has an incredible voice.
Wow.
And he used to, when we would go to church, he'd be in the back, and he's like, for some reason, obsessed with our choir director. And he would like sit in the back of the pew and start like directing him. And yet and then like in the morning, because he was being potty trained at the time, he would you'd wake up and you'd hear this little angelic voice sing like, Lord have mercy. And you're just like, why? And he's sitting on the pot looking at a movie singing, and you're like, okay, this is my life now.
I love it. Well, Brandon, awesome. If you're watching, keep on singing. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in to GUTV's special tonight. We really appreciate it, and we love to continue this mission of spreading awareness to these abilities. Thanks for watching. This has been GUTV.